Yeah, yeah. And so another thing to kind of add on to, so building on process and AI. So good marketers pay attention to analytics. They're statistics driven. A marketer that says they don't like math is a little suspect to me.
Sure.
But I don't consider myself I'm not a PhD mathematician, but you kind of have to know this stuff. But I think there's a difference between being really good at reading the numbers and being data driven.
Sure.
So being able to interpret is one thing, but then that feedback loop, I think, is what's often missing from a lot of teams, is really taking the data, understanding it, and then having it actually drive the decisions. And certainly, at Pega World, we've been hearing a lot about data-driven decision-making in the enterprise. Just curious your thoughts on, do you think marketers are moving more towards being data-driven and decision-making? Is there still some, room to move there?
Yeah, I think one of the innovations that AI has brought to us is the ability to understand if our programs are working more quickly and be able to pull insights from channels more effectively. So if you think about the old days, you might run a campaign, whoever ran it for you, or maybe you ran it internally, you get the results after. Then you can go back and say, okay, this message didn't work over here, this message worked better over here. I think what we're seeing now is the ability to, A1, be able to simulate things and test them before you put them into production, which is huge. And then also, in the middle of a campaign, if something's not resonating, you can pull it down. If there's an error, you can pull it down. There's no reason to stop something that's not working. There's no reason to let something continue just because you've put it in motion. And I think the smart marketers understand that.
Yeah, yeah. And I know it's not a new feature in the Pega platform, but the simulation thing that you mentioned is very cool.
It is,
the first time I saw it, it was a little while ago, but the first time I saw it, just kind of blows your mind to think that, again, we get the smartest people we can in a room and we strategize and we look at the analytics and all that kind of stuff, but this is very different than that. Can you talk a little bit about it?
Yeah, so just at the most basic granular level, if you think about a brand having to calculate how much a customer relationship is worth to them, that's kind of like a hand tabulation, right? Your XYZ, multiply that by whatever. With Customer Decision Hub, you can actually figure out what value that interaction is going to give you for that specific customer with the algorithm. So then you're in a position where you can say, okay, I figured out that these 50 customers should not be given this offer because it's not going to be profitable based on the product that that they're eligible for, or, in some respects that we want to sell to them. So being able to see the value so instantly on that granular level, I think, is a marketing planner's dream scenario.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, it's pretty interesting, and it does so much of the legwork for you and guesswork. Takes some of that stuff out of the way. Another thing that was announced here at Pega World is Gen AI Blueprint, and I know it's not necessarily specific to marketing, but very cool feature and probably has some implications later on for other things like what we've been talking about. Do you mind just talking a little bit about it?